And join us for this week's live hangout on air to learn how to showcase your authority and expertise to your market to attract more media attention, get more high-paying clients, sell more products and services, and make more money.
So our first expert showcase is Eric Lockham. He's a master sales trainer who has trained tens of thousands of sales professionals nationwide. He is the president and CEO of Eric Lockham International, Inc., an organization he founded to serve the needs of sales professionals worldwide. And if you're on today, you are one of those salespeople.
And the topic is sales training, how to get over the fear of selling and capitalize on the new economy.
During this segment, I want to talk about addressing fear and how do you overcome fear in the sales process. And I really understand a lot about this because when I got started in sales 21 years ago, I was the bottom producer at my company, and my manager pulled me into his office and he said, "Eric, you're my bottom producer. You've missed quota 2 months in a row, and we have a 3 strikes and you're out rule, so you've got 1 more month to hit your quota or we're going to fire you." And so I was in a place in my life where I was filled with fear, and I had a very real problem. I didn't know how to sell. And so I started looking for answers, and it was at that point that I was introduced to my first mentor. His name is Dr. Donald Boyne, and he provided professional sales training. And for the first time in my life, I knew what to do, which gave me the confidence. So as you're watching this right now, if you're dealing with any fear around the sales process, the first thing I want to tell you is that that's normal. And not only is it normal, it's not your fault. Because let's face it, in our culture, there's a stigma to selling. I've asked literally thousands of people all over the world, what do you think of when you think of a salesperson? And the answers that I get are arm twisting, high pressure, manipulation, selfish, used car sales. And that's literally how our culture programs us. And so now, if you're watching this right now, you've got a huge heart. You care about people, and you don't want to be any of those things that I just described. And so you might go out in your sales presentation and try and do it without being, quote unquote, salesy. I'm often hear from my clients, and they'll say things like, "Well, I want to go out and sell, but I'm not trying to sell the other person anything." They'll use language like that, which is a way of them communicating to me that they have a tremendous amount of fear around selling. And so what I discovered is this: things only have the meaning that we give them. And if you make sales mean arm twisting, high pressure, manipulation, if you have a resistance to selling, if that's your mindset, then unfortunately you'll probably fear sales for the rest of your career. Now, there is a great alternative, and I want to share that alternative with you. And I've actually helped many, many clients all over the world create a breakthrough around their fear and their resistance to sales. And I teach 3 ways to elevate your sales results: the inner game, the outer game, and action. And what we're talking about right now is the inner game, or your mindset around sales. And there's a concept that's taught in NLP. NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And even if you're not familiar with NLP, it's simply the study of human excellence. And the distinction that's taught is called reframing. And so the event is the event, but we can change our experience of the event by changing the meaning. In other words, sales is sales, but we can change our experience of sales by changing the meaning of sales. And I'm going to take that concept and I'm going to actually combine it with the distinction that I learned from Napoleon Hill, who's the author of Think and Grow Rich. And Napoleon Hill taught us in that book that a way to reprogram your subconscious mind for success is a distinction he calls autosuggestion. And so autosuggestion simply means you say something to yourself over and over and over again, and you can literally change the way that you think. So if you have resistance to selling, I'm going to teach you right now how do you let go of that resistance by applying the distinction of autosuggestion. So my definition of sales, I'm going to say this 3 times, and if you have resistance to sales, I want to encourage you to write this down. And I want you to write down word for word, and I'm going to give you a very specific instruction. Move at the speed of instruction. So here it is. Selling equals service. So write this down right now. Selling equals service. Sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion. Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. Now I'm going to say that 2 more times, a little slower, and I want you to write this down. This could create a breakthrough for you in your mindset around sales. Selling equals service. Sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion. Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. I'm going to say it one last time. Selling equals service. Sell from honesty, integrity, and compassion. Selling is about leading. Selling is about moving people to action. Change begins in language. And there's a vocabulary to success, and there's a vocabulary to sales greatness. And so what I'm sharing with you through that affirmation is literally the mindset of a sales champion. That's my mindset about sales. And so the way that you reprogram your subconscious mind for success, you literally take the affirmation that I just gave you, the selling equals service affirmation, and you say it 10 times a day for the next 30 days. You say it out loud or to yourself. And what you'll probably begin to notice is you're going to begin to let go of your resistance to selling, and you're going to begin to embrace sales. Now, the power of that is that if this, in fact, happens for you, we're talking about an instant improvement in your mindset, literally for the rest of your life. We're talking about you potentially completely letting go of the fear of selling and learning how to embrace sales. So that's an inner game strategy. And I want to talk to you about a couple of other points here that have to do with the outer game of selling. And in my language, the outer game is the how-tos. And so back when I had my breakthrough with Dr. Moyne and I was literally living in fear around sales, part of it was mindset, but part of it was the how-tos. And that's where you're going to increase your confidence. Because at the end of the day, if you truly want to be successful with your selling and you're experiencing any fear at all, you need to know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, why to say it. And this is why professional training is so important. For most people, selling is not intuitive. I was not a naturally born salesperson. It wasn't until I was professionally trained that I saw an increase in my sales results. And so the thing about sales, in my experience, and I've been in this conversation now for 21 years, the thing that I found about it, it's actually quite simple once you know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, it can be one of the most frustrating experiences you've ever had in your life. So the last idea I want to share with you around this, it has to do with the words of your presentation. And in my world, I call that sales scripting. So what I do to build extreme confidence in my presentation is I script out my presentation, and then I practice it over and over and over again. And then I role play it over and over and over again. Now, when I go on the live presentation, it's not that I'm delivering it word for word. I've internalized the script to the point where I've become the script, and I use the script as a guideline. I can weave in and out of the presentation, but the key distinction is I know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, why to say it, especially when it comes to asking for the order. So before I walk into a presentation, I'm crystal clear, number one, what is my outcome of that presentation? And then equally important, exactly what's my language that I'm going to say at the end when I'm asking for the order. And an example of this is if I'm taking on coaching clients and I'm looking for 7 coaching clients. When I get to the end of my presentation, I'm going to say something maybe exactly word for word like this. The final thing I'm going to say is, would you like to be one of the 7 clients that I work with? And then I'm going to be silent. And I'm empowering the prospect to make a decision at that point. The key idea here is simply that I'm prepared and I know what to say. So the summary points of what I am sharing today, one is to change your language around sales. Instead of saying sales is arm twisting, high pressure manipulation, if you choose to believe that, you're going to resist sales most likely for the rest of your life. So change begins in language. We're going to change it. And I gave you the affirmation, and I gave you the instruction to say it 10 times a day, out loud or to yourself, for the next 30 days. That's an inner game strategy. And then the outer game strategy is you script out your presentation, you get the language down, you practice it, you role play it, and especially when it comes to asking for the money, so you know exactly what to say, the language that you're going to use in the end. Those couple of tips right there, without exaggerating, could create a massive breakthrough for you in your selling and potentially create a permanent change in the way that you sell for the rest of your life.
So that's an example of what an expert showcase segment should look like. That was amazing.
Phenomenal.
And the thing is, with Eric, we've known Eric for at least 10 years, and what's consistent about Eric is he's always been a sales training expert, and the things he's taught along the way. You know, a lot of people kind of flip-flop on what they do, but Eric has been consistent with his message, and the reason is his message is timeless. It's not, what he's teaching is not going to go out of date. It's a formula that works, and it will work consistently. And he gave you the formula, so it's just up to you now to put it into action and watch your results, watch your sales soar. So let's find out more about what Eric's up to these days.
Yeah, Eric, thank you so much for that. I mean, when we say 10 minutes of intense training, you did it, my friend. So I know that you have a couple of projects going on. I know that absolutely amazing. You do something once a month that you provide some free training for people who are wanting to get over their fear of sales and actually start implementing and increasing their sales conversion. So I'll let you have the floor. What would you like to share about that program or anything else?
Yeah, so we've gone into the web-based sales training space, and so we don't really teach in hotel ballrooms anymore. We just let people train over the internet, and once a month we do a free 3-hour professional sales training that I deliver. It's web-based, so you just go to my website, saleschampion.com, and you look up the next one, and you can register totally for free. And it's a way where people from all over the world can receive high-quality training. And so that's one thing that we're excited about. And I just launched my signature book last year in November, and it's called The System. And so that you can get that on Amazon.com. It teaches my entire sales process. It's an in-depth book. We don't hold anything back. We don't say, well, here's some of it, and to get the rest, you've got to hire me. No, we just give it all away, the entire sales system. You can get it right on Amazon.com for under $10, and it became a bestseller on Amazon. It's been very, very successful. And so those are two things that we have going on that I'm really, really excited about.
Thank you so much. And Eric, what's the best website if people want to get more information about any additional products and services or more information about you?
Yeah, the easiest thing to do is just go to our main site, which is saleschampion.com.
And for those of you who are looking for sales training, you need to get on with Eric. There's so many of our colleagues have worked directly with him, have nothing but incredible things to say. And again, we appreciate you so much, Eric, and we'll, of course, we'll always be working.